Is Ohio's new distracted driving law working? Hello and welcome to Action News Now. I'm Josh Croup. It has officially been 1 month since Ohio's hands-free law went into effect, meaning you cannot be doing this on the road while you are driving. And if you are, a state trooper, a local police officer, a sheriff's deputy can pull you over and cite you. Right now there's a grace period through October. The beginning of October they'll be issuing warnings and then you can start receiving fines. Before it still was illegal, but officers couldn't pull you over if they simply saw you on the phone. They had to see you commit another infraction like speeding or a lane violation first. So the question is, has this been effective? And let us know in the comments if you're watching on Facebook. If you see people on their phones while you're on the road, do you see people like this when you're out driving? If so, and you're a police officer, you can pull them over now in Ohio. That's the big new change. We have now been in this for 1 month, this new law. And there is some data out there that suggests that things are changing. Let me take you over to the study from Cambridge Mobile Telematics. And what this company basically does is use insurance data, insurance company mobile app data. So if you opt into the Allstate DriveWise program, which I have on my phone, it tracks you as you're driving and sees when your phone is moving, sees whenever you unlock your phone. You allow these apps to track you, and other companies have access to it. So Cambridge Mobile Telematics has been tracking data for a few years now in various states, including Ohio. And look at the difference whenever Ohio's hand-free law went into effect. Their analysis showed that Ohio drivers spent an average of 1:39 seconds per hour on the road with their phones in March. But then we go to April, that law goes into effect, and that drops to 1 hour or 1:32 seconds, a drop of about 8%. So 8%, not a huge drop, you would say. Every 10% decrease in distracted driving, this company says, reduces the crash rate by 1.5%. It estimates that that 8% drop has prevented some 300 crashes, 1 fatality, and $8 million in economic damages. Governor Mike DeWine took notice of this. The state was going over this data and this study yesterday at the Ohio Traffic Safety Office, examining the good news from that. But there is a caveat here because, as I said, Cambridge has been studying this information in a couple of other states. They notice that in the month, in the weeks after one of these new laws go into effect, there is a drop. The average drop is 13% in cell phone usage. 16%, I should say. It fades to 13% after 3 months. Then by the end of 2022, the phone motion rate in 8 states was actually higher than it was compared to the month before the law took effect. There is no really seasonal trends that they have seen in Ohio, and this whole study was presented again yesterday to leaders at the Ohio Traffic Safety Office. So they're going to be watching to see if there is a similar fade here in Ohio compared to what we've seen in other states. I want to bring in Judy Converse, who is the Public Information Officer with the Ohio Traffic Safety Office, to explain a little bit more about this data and what state officials are looking at as we continue to progress here throughout this grace period of a summer. Do you have a sense of how they gathered that data and how they can pin down that 8% figure?
I can't speak a lot to Cambridge's data, but I can tell you that what they analyze are like car insurance apps that people opt into. So they're looking at what they're calling phone motion distraction, which is when someone is interacting with their phone, moving their phone around while a vehicle is moving more than 10 miles per hour. So they're analyzing apps that people opt into or sign up for to get a discount on their car insurance.
And so that would be something like what I'm opted into is the Allstate DriveWise app. You turn it on, it tracks your location, and it sees your activity. Also in that data, they say that when they've tracked that in other states, they have seen an immediate decline, but then it bounces right back up. Is there concern in Ohio that could happen, or what or education efforts, I guess, are going to continue to make sure that number does not come back up and that Ohioans know that they have to put the phone down?
Sure, there's concern that number could also bounce back, but we're in the thick of a public information campaign right now called Phones Down, It's the Law. And this campaign is going on essentially up till October, which is when drivers can actually get a ticket and be fined for distracted driving. We're really encouraged by what we're seeing so far from Cambridge, because people are already changing behavior and they're not even getting a ticket or a fine for it yet. So we're really excited, really encouraged by what the data from Cambridge is showing already.
How much went into that campaign in the months leading up to the rollout? We knew that the law passed and there was some time to get ready for it. I imagine there was a lot of work happening behind the scenes to get the education campaign underway, and now we're 1 month in. Walk me through the process, how much work actually went on behind the scenes and how much work is still needed to be done.
A lot of work went on behind the scenes. We started working on the campaign in January, not long after Governor DeWine signed it into law. We worked, our office, the Ohio Traffic Safety Office, worked with ODOT, Ohio Department of Transportation. We both worked together on the campaign, worked together on the messaging for Ohio drivers, trying to figure out what drivers, what do they need to know about the law changing? You know, what kinds of behaviors do they need to do differently now to be in compliance with the law? So we try to come up with a variety of materials and a variety of ways to reach out to people with TV ads, with radio ads, billboards. We have public information and educational materials available to any traffic safety partners who want to hand them out. We have fact sheets available. We also have materials available for law enforcement to pass out to drivers who get stopped and get one of those written warnings during this grace period.
Has it been a smooth rollout so far, or have there been any bumps during this grace period?
No, I don't know of any bumps or any issues so far. Everybody we know has been very receptive. We've been talking with law enforcement and some other traffic safety people around the state who are embracing the campaign. We have a lot of materials that are being sent out, posters being distributed, and you know, everyone's just been very open and receptive to really embracing the changes and the messaging for people.
Is there anything else that we need to know now that we're a month in here to this new distracted driving law? What are you looking for as we move throughout the rest of this summer and this campaign continues?
We're really hoping that Ohio drivers stay on board with Phones Down, It's the Law. From our perspective, there is no acceptable level of distracted driving. You know, we know that there's been an 8% drop according to Cambridge's data. We really like to see a 100% drop. We really are hoping that everybody in Ohio is on board with making safe decisions behind the wheel, not just for themselves, but for everybody else out there sharing the road too. We know that distracted driving is dangerous. We know distracted driving leads to crashes. You're more likely to get into a crash if you're not paying attention.
So that was Judy Converse with the Ohio Traffic Safety Office. We appreciate having her on here. Action News Now. 1 month into this new Ohio distracted driving law. Very interesting comments going on in the Facebook page. We continue to watch those, and we encourage you to keep having those discussions here after we end this video, which is now. We are back on Action News at noon with Christian Brown with your latest headlines from across the region here on this Thursday. Back here on Action News Now on 13abc.com and your streaming apps throughout the rest of this day. For all of us at 13ABC, I'm Josh Croup saying farewell from Toledo.